Okay.
Can you tip it down?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like 50 feet or zoom in or something. Like, I don't like
I don't
so
know if it'll
much
let
over
me
the
zoom
top
in.
of my head. What?
I don't know if it'll let me zoom in. It won't let you zoom in.
Okay. We can scoot it closer.
Okay.
Is it
Take
recording?
my question. Yeah.
Okay.
Just waiting. There's nobody on yet, so.
Turn.
Got
We're
it.
getting everything perfect for you guys because you are that important to us.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. All right.
Never mind the woman on the side of the screen.
There's 4 people.
You're not going to be in the camera?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on it.
Oh, well, I don't.
I'm on it.
Oh,
all right.
let me turn it a little bit so that you can be there.
Okay.
Everybody, nobody cares about me. They want to see you, baby.
Right. Hi guys.
Howdy, howdy. Hello.
All right. There's 8 people on.
Happy belated Thanksgiving and future Merry Christmas to everyone. Well, there's 8 people. Like, we just barely turned it on.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Cool. All right, we're checking it out, getting everything going. So, welcome to a quick, spontaneous Q&A. Halo had demanded I produce a video today. Circumstances, I guess, didn't allow it. And so we're doing a Q&A instead. So we're going to have a video. But look for some gear reviews, all kinds of trail tested stuff coming up very shortly. So like hopefully I'll film tomorrow and then we don't know when we'll get them put up. But very quickly, going to have awesome gear reviews coming up. So here we go.
All right.
We're going to start with some questions that y'all had from before that we didn't get to.
Yeah, these are either from Facebook or from the YouTube channel. And so we will start out with some of the easy ones. Supplements and vitamins.
Oh, I should have grabbed the bottle.
I'll go run and
Okay.
grab it. They're not
Hold
going
on.
anywhere. Oh, they might. They could leave, but...
Can you see it? I got the vitamins right here because I still take them. Men's Daily. Men's One Daily whole food vitamin. So we can like maybe spell it out. But anyway, love these things. I think they made a big difference. So, yep. I think definitely supplements are important because you don't eat very nutritiously on the trail.
Yeah, can't prove that it helped, but pretty sure it did.
Sure.
All right, questions about the tent. Wanted to know about the duplex.
All right.
Lots of questions about that. So we're going to start with when the temps were sub 30. How cold was it in the tent with the ventilation? Yeah,
so the Z-Pax duplex tent is designed to have a good airflow, lots of ventilation, which when it's really cold out is a negative. So the cool thing about the duplex is you can adjust how high you pitch it, and the lower you pitch it, the less ventilation there is underneath the doors. If you watch my duplex review, I mention it or show it a little bit about the corner guy lines. You can stake those very close, run your trekking poles down lower, and get the doors real close to the ground, which greatly reduces the amount of air in the airflow in the tent. So the other thing to consider is you want to pitch it with the doors perpendicular to the wind. So you want the wind hitting the side wall of the tent because that's got an extra guy line to help hold it out and support it in the wind. So something to consider, plus the wind doesn't then come up underneath the doors. Bottom line, I had no problem with it. One of the coldest nights on the trail was at the Over Mountain Shelter, and it was down below 30, and it was super windy, but I was fine. I think I mentioned on that day's video.
We just watched it.
Yeah,
actually.
we just rewatched it. Remember the day? Anyway, whatever day it was, I talk about it and what I wore to bed that night, which was pretty much all my clothes, my puffy jacket and all that. So bottom line, you kind of learn where to pitch it. The other thing is on super windy nights, you don't want to be real high. You want to be down low. If you know it's going to be windy, try to camp in a valley somewhere perpendicular to the wind and not where it's coming up the valley. But you'll learn that stuff pretty quick, what to get away with and what you can't. And I didn't have any problems. So definitely wouldn't change any part of my gear, my sleep system or my tent from any of my past experience. And look for a sleep system review coming up real soon too.
Yeah, we're down visiting our daughter in Jackson, so we've got lots of time. So he's going to do some reviews here, and we'll get them out. Also, if you have any other questions, the dude wants to know if you're considering hiking the PCT. It's root beer.
Root beer. Hey.
He's going to go in a couple of years after he finishes school.
Oh, okay. Man, right now I'm open for anything. So yeah, I won't lie, there's a big part of me that would love to do the Pacific Crest Trail. So yeah, we'll see.
Say hi to Warren. He just
hey Warren. Man, you're like constant commenting on videos that you watched and letting me know where you were at was a great encouragement. I love knowing that, people are catching up and loving the videos and all that. So thanks, Warren. Hey, what's the next question?
That was a really big deal when you were out there. He'd ask, hey, where's Warren at on the videos? All right, your tent. What did you wipe it condensation off with? All
right, one of the videos I'm going to do is some of my favorite pieces of gear. My 5 favorite pieces of gear that are all coincidentally like under $10 or whatever. But one of my favorite pieces of gear, I'll give you a quick glimpse into the future, what we're going to be showing you, but is basically a basic bandana. Now, I used a little bit different than a standard bandana. It's like a chamois, a type of a chamois. I don't know the name of it, but your basic bandana, I use my bandana plenty to wipe out the inside of my tent and even the outside at times. And then you just leave the door unzipped and wring it outside and keep wiping and wring it outside. And then if I had any other business to do in the morning, I would do that and let it air dry as much as possible and then shake it a few times and fold it up and go. But your bandana is one of your most useful pieces of gear.
How'd you dry out your tent?
With a bandana. With a bandana, with a chamois. Okay, I would leave it open and exposed in the sun or whatever in the morning as long as I could. My tent was always the last thing I packed because it went on the outside of my pack. And then if it was really wet, whenever I stopped in the sunshine, whether it was for lunch or that evening or whatever, I would pitch it as quick as I could or just drape it out in the sun.
I was going to say, yeah, whenever he stopped somewhere, like especially when we were there, we went somewhere, he would set the tent up out in the sun. To dry out.
Yeah, when I got into town and we were going to be at a hotel, I would pitch it in the sun and just let it really, really dry because the tent fabric, the Cuban fiber, basically doesn't get saturated with water, but it does kind of hold a little bit. But your guy lines, your reinforcements in the corners, and those things do hold a little water. So I would pitch it in the sun. And it was amazing how fast all that stuff would dry because of the real dark. I had the camouflage version. Man, the sun beat down on it and it was nice and dry real quick.
Okay. Tips for taking it down in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
Did you leave the doors clipped? Which way did you fold it, etc.?
Can you all hear her reading the questions clearly? Hopefully you can. Somebody let me know if you can hear her. Because if you can't hear the questions, then my answers aren't going to make a whole lot of...
Grumpy said yes.
All right, cool. Hey, Grumpy, we just watched one of your videos today about some of the gear changes you made. Looks like some good choices, and I know some of that stuff's going to work out great for you. But yeah, question, taking down the tent in the rain. Unfortunately, you'll have to do that a lot. The Appalachian Trail is a rainforest climate. You get lots and lots of rain. And so I can remember many days taking it down when it was pouring. And one of these times I'm going to talk about my motivation to finish the trail and why I probably hiked in worse weather maybe than some other people did, because I just kind of kept moving when others took a day off or took extra hours off by not hiking in the rain. So here's what you do. Again, because of the huge amount of room for a solo backpacker, 2 doors, 2 big vestibules, you can pack all of your gear up inside the tent while it's raining. You get everything taken care of. And so when you emerge from the tent, you've got your rain gear on, you got your pack cover over your pack, everything is ready to go. The last and final thing is simply to pack up your tent. And then I kept mine on the, I'm going to call them luggage straps at the bottom of my Arc Blast backpack. And so it was a great place to keep my tent. It didn't get the inside of my pack wet, all that. So when you emerge from your tent, everything else is done. Start unstaking, pulling up the stakes and getting your tent all done. Lay it down as flat as possible. And because of the design of the doors, you can keep the screen and the floor, everything underneath the vestibule doors. So it's raining on top of the tent, you collapse it straight down, and the whole exterior of the tent is still protecting the interior and the floor of the tent. So then when you're everything's all ready to go, you can pick up like the sides of the tent, and then I collapsed it into half long ways. So I've made it as short as I could. Shake it a few times, collapse it a couple more times, always keeping it up off the ground, because you start rolling around in the muddy ground and it gets all nasty. I would do it on my pant legs or whatever, fold it a few times, shake it as much as you can. Now I'm starting to lean over my tent. It's not raining on it any longer. And I shake it like I said, and then roll it up, stuff it in the stuff sack, strap it to my pack, throw my pack on, and away you go. It is so much easier having the single wall tent in the rain than a double wall tent. So much easier. Yeah, hopefully you know what I'm talking about if you know much about tents. The single wall rocks for that. So it is not a problem folding up in the rain or setting up in the rain either.
Nora says, what are you considering doing an episode dedicated to rain experience and advice?
Oh.
That's what we should do, is send you out.
Yeah, because man, there are serious tips on the rain, and on the Appalachian Trail, you're gonna encounter rain a lot. We had a fairly dry year, I think, but still quite a bit of rain. So yeah, that's a great idea, Nora, because there's a lot to learn about backpacking in the rain, and you can do it the hard way or the easy way. And I'm not saying I got all the answers, but I definitely learned a few things. So yeah, that's a good idea. And I think part of that question was, do you keep the doors closed? Yes, I kept them toggled closed, because that helps protect the inside of the tent. So yep, and you'll figure those things out real quick with that tent. It's very user friendly and very easy to do.
All right, what specifically did you eat when you went stoveless?
My diet when I went stoveless, and talking about what I would do different if I was going to do it again, I don't even think I would bring my soaking tub. But to answer the specific question, like I would go ultimate stoveless, like okay. I wouldn't even bring anything.
But what did you eat?
What did I eat? I ate the exact same things I ate when I had the stove. I just soaked them. So I even ate Mountain House meals for supper. I did eat some rice, although I really kind of developed a fondness for ramen noodles, and they're one of the easiest things to rehydrate cold out there. So I ate ramen. Typical supper would be a package of ramen, a package of tuna, a package of peanut butter crackers, and a peanut bar. Now, that would be like a typical supper. If I had extra food, or I was burning extra calories, like the final part of New England, I would throw in another Cliff Bar, maybe one of my favorites, which is the Gatorade bars. So something like that. But that was a typical supper. Now, breakfast would be several bars, whether it's Cliff Bar, Kind Bar. Later on, I would splurge and eat Gatorade bars, but peanut bars, things like that, I would eat, or a couple, 3 packets of instant oatmeal just with cold water in them. I would pour the water in and start eating, and it tasted great. I loved it. Loved the brown sugar and cinnamon, or the maple cinnamon oatmeal, the oats and walnuts and whatever, dates and raisins or whatever oatmeal, but they are a little heavier, and I was very weight conscious. So anyway, then I would eat Pop-Tarts, as you all know, some good old-fashioned Cheetah Chow, brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts, and I would eat beef jerky. I really got to where I would carry lots of beef jerky, because you can't get near that much protein for that light a weight, and it's real versatile. I loved it. I had my Halo jerky, the hot and spicy, hot and sweet jerky.
Anyway,
awesome. So I had lots of jerky. I had some tortillas with peanut butter and honey, but my diet didn't change. I ate all the same things. Just at night, I didn't boil the water to make my ramen noodles.
So they had to soak longer.
Had to soak basically for 20 minutes, but I would get into camp, get my water, start soaking, and then pitch my tent and do all that stuff. So by the time you get your priorities of work, as my buddy Early Riser calls it, when you get your priorities of work done, your food's basically ready.
Yeah.
So
he ate whatever I sent him, basically.
And she sent whatever I told her to
Pretty
send,
much.
like a good woman. So I've got a food video on when I was in the White Mountains. I don't know what it's called. Ultralight backpacking food or something. Check out that food video, and I show everything that I carried with me for food. So good question, because I really liked going stoveless. And I'm going to do a review on my stove and my cook system. It's sitting on a table back here. That's why I'm pointing. I'm going to do a review on all that stuff, but that considered, I probably would go really stoveless.
All right. Did you hang a bear bag every night?
Next question, please. That's a topic, truly, that's not a topic I want to discuss, because I did things that I couldn't recommend to other people. And so maybe by me saying that, you'll know the answer. All right, let's address it.
Go ahead.
Let's address it. I'm going to do this really quickly, but guys, I'm not recommending anyone do this, but I'm going to be honest and I'll tell you what I did, because I felt confident that I could do this successfully. I'm very careful about all my gear. And so what I did was I carried mostly all packaged foods in wrappers and things like that. I carried all that in individual Ziploc bags. I carried that inside of a sealable Cuban fiber bag that would be rolled down extensively and packed up. At night, instead of hanging it in a tree out there where the bears can play piñata with it, I would then bury it down inside my pack and roll down my pack liner super tight, get all the air out of it and close it. Then I would seal off my backpack and close it. And so my food was like quadruple sealed up inside my pack. And then I kept it, well, when I was by myself, usually in the tent with me. I know that's not recommended. I wouldn't recommend it for you guys. My advice is to hang your bear bag every night.
Yeah.
Yep. But when it's pouring rain in the morning, guess what? My food was right there, ready to rock and roll. I was so careful not to get crumbs in my tent. Yeah. I didn't want mice coming in and eating through my tent and popping my sleeping pad. I didn't get it on my hands. I was super careful with all of it. My tuna packets were my biggest concern. I would fold those down so tight and I would clean them out like immaculate. I would fold them down super tight, put them inside of a trash bag, inside of another bag, inside of like the food bag, inside my pack. So, I mean, crazy careful.
Well, and he never camped anywhere that there was bear activity.
If there was bear activity, I would move on, keep hiking. So there's a lot to what I did. I wouldn't, again, recommend it for other people, but...
At the beginning of the trail, we hung our bags. Okay, I hung my bag.
One time.
I hung.
Showing Lipstick and Kelly how to hang it. I hung it anyway, but basically, and when we were in places where there were bear poles, like once or twice, my kids were like, well, Dad, you're going to hang your bag, right? And I'm like, yes, kids, I'm going to. So I hung it, and then I'd have like H2O get it for me in the morning or whatever. Anyway, so there's that.
You have kids.
There's the answer to that question. Again, guys, be crazy careful with whatever you do. You can't do that in really high bear activity areas. You never know. So my recommendation is to follow all of the ATC recommendations and hang your bags and be very responsible with your food. I don't want anybody getting hurt or rodent damage from anything I did. So do as I say, not as I do. All right.
Good answer. Recovery. Are you back to normal?
Yeah, I'm back to normal. I think I've been back to normal for several weeks. I just did the math, and I've been off the trail for 2 months and 1 week. And I think I've been back to normal for darn near a month now. Yeah. I struggle and suffer from fibromyalgia. So I've got like pains in places I shouldn't all the time anyway. And I even did some on the trail too. Like I had to deal with it there. So unfortunately, I have quite a bit of pain all the time. I try not to let it stop me. So, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. In fact, we're going to go hiking tomorrow. Hopefully get some miles done, do a decent hike.
Yeah, do a good hike.
Yep. So I'm feeling great and ready to start training some more.
Speaking of hiking, if you're going to do a section with your kids, what section would you do?
All right. As we've been talking after I'm done with the trail, I've been thinking a lot about the trail in general, and I'm looking back at most every part of the trail with fonder memories than I did when I was struggling through it at times. Yeah. And again, remember, I have fibromyalgia, and so, man, I was in pretty severe pain the whole way. And so, man, it was a lot of grit, but God just shone through in his power and glory, helping me, making me able to complete it. So,
kids.
All right, kids. One of the first things that I thought of was the Virginia Triple Crown. I don't know how to get up to the Dragon's Tooth because there's a long ridge walk before that. But basically, if you did McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs with the kids, that would be great, man. There's some beautiful areas. But really, I would like to take the kids to almost any part of the trail. One of the follow-up questions is, what are my least favorite sections of the trail? I have to say it was like New York and New Jersey, southern New Jersey, most of New York. A big part of that was because of the weather. It was so hot. It was terrible through there, which most people hit it when it's pretty hot. So maybe a different time of the year it would be better, but I wouldn't want to take them to those parts just because I didn't like it. But pretty much I'd take the kids to almost any of it, with the exclusion of the first like 3/4 of Maine. That's pretty dangerous and very technical, a lot harder than the rest of it. So I wouldn't want to do that, and I wouldn't want to do the whites when the weather was going to be rougher. But in like the summertime, I'd love to take them to the whites and show them Franconia Ridge, one of my favorite spots. So I would take them through Virginia, through even back in Georgia, the Smokies maybe, during the summer months. Not when it's fringe weather. You wouldn't want to take them in bad places with bad potential for bad weather. But almost any part of the trail. But Virginia popped up. That Virginia Triple Crown, although getting up to Dragon's Tooth from the road is legit technical climbing. But getting to it from the south is lots of ridge walking with not much water. Getting down that was fun. Anyway, so yeah, maybe more on that later if I have time to think about it. But I liked most all sections. Parts of Vermont, northern part of Vermont was awesome.
So what question are you answering right now?
Where I'd take the kids.
Oh, all right.
Yep, where I'd take the kids.
So which sections would you rehike? If you were going to go back out and rehike, what would you rehike?
Yeah, I would rehike any of it. My favorite sections, Maine, now that I'm home, Maine is my favorite state. Man, it was hard, and man, it was dangerous at times. But Maine is my favorite state. The remoteness and ruggedness made it my favorite. I don't know if I'd want to rehike that. I would definitely do the beginning of the White Mountains. So like Moosilauke and even Franconia. No, Franconia was one of my favorite spots. The Franconia Ridge in the White Mountains. That was awesome. I would like to do Georgia again just to see how hard was it really compared to the rest of the trail. Because when you're in Georgia, it seems hard. But I know the climbs are a lot shorter. Water's everywhere. So I would like, if I redid it, man, I'd do more miles at the beginning. I'd stealth camp. I'd be camping in great spots every night with lots of water. So I'd do almost all of it again.
Skip in the shelters.
Yeah. A lot of Pennsylvania I wouldn't want to do again. But it doesn't matter.
What was your favorite section?
So I just answered that a little bit. My favorite section was Maine. All of New England was spectacular. It's really cool going northbound because you just keep building up. You have to suffer through the midsection where there's not a lot going on. You're just kind of hiking. But man, when you bust out into New Hampshire and then into Maine, it is epic. And I was blown away. I'm still blown away at the glory and beauty of all of that. So definitely, as hard as it is, New England was my favorite. The beginning is cool because it's all new and it's so exciting. All of it was great. Southern Shenandoah Park was one of my least favorites. It was so brushy, you couldn't see much, but then northern part of the Shenandoahs picked up, so I really enjoyed that. Being with the family and Cur Dog through a lot of that made it all way better. So, I would do almost all of it again. But I really like to go back to Georgia and just see how hard was it really. So.
If you're going to do it again, doing another thru hike, what would you do differently?
All right, what would I do different?
And adding on to that, would you do the approach trail?
Oh, all right, would I do the approach trail? We were talking about that on the drive down here to Tennessee, and I could give or take the approach trail either way. When you hike 2,200 miles, 9 miles here or there, doesn't matter like scenery-wise. You've probably seen it all. I would do it, the approach trail, I guess, because I haven't done that section, that trail. I haven't done that trail. So yeah, I would probably do it. We were talking about it, and I had a brilliant thought.
It was pretty good.
So no one asks, like, well, did you go down the blank trail off of Baxter Peak at Mount Katahdin? It doesn't matter where you went after you summited Mount Katahdin because it's not the AT. So there's 3 or 4 different ways to go back down Mount Katahdin, and nobody goes down the AT. That's crazy. So you don't go down that sucker. Anyway, so nobody cares which way you went down Baxter. Nobody should care which way you get to Springer Mountain either. But to answer your question, yes, I would probably do the approach trail just because I haven't seen that 9 miles that's close to the AT. So what would I do different? If I was going to re-hike it, I would go try to go crazy ultralight, super minimal, do like more of a tarp shelter, like a poncho tarp or something like that. I would go with super bare minimum gear. I would take more food so that I could spend more time on the trail if I wanted. I wouldn't hike in as bad a weather. I would spend more time at the waterfalls and things like that. So I would do it like slower when I wanted to be slower and faster when I wanted to be fast. I would try to experiment with what can I deal with getting away without for gear and stuff like that. So that would be fun for me because it would be more of a challenge to see what I could get away with. So I would take it less serious. I definitely attacked the trail with the goal of summiting Mount Katahdin. So now that I know I could do it and I have done it, I would definitely be more relaxed and just enjoy more of it, spend more time at the scenery and things like that. So I'd probably chill out a lot more.
Yeah, well, because when hikers were talking about what their goals are, a cur dog addressed this when he decided he was not hiking anymore. His goal, when he made his list of goals, it never was to summit Mount Katahdin. That was his only goal, summit Mount Katahdin.
A lot of people wanted to find themselves and seek out, what's the meaning of life, and they wanted to have a great fun time and experience the Appalachian Trail. I felt like God called me to through hike the trail and summit Mount Katahdin. My enjoyment had nothing to do with that. So I kind of attacked the trail in a different way than most people, and my whole objective was to finish. So when I took 0 days, it was with the idea that I was giving my body the rest it needed for later on down the trail to keep going. And so that's kind of what I did from the very beginning. It was all with the end in mind, never the enjoyment. But enough on that. We'll talk about that maybe more at another time.
All right. Do you keep in touch with anybody?
So, yep, Cur Dog and I are staying in touch. Hook and Swiss Miss, we've been in touch a lot. In fact, I talked to him on the phone when they were in Switzerland visiting Swiss Miss's parents. So, been in touch with them quite a few times. I just talked to Shammy today. Had a phone conversation with him. I texted with GQ and PR and Aspirations yesterday and today. Also, I got a hold of Highlander.
That was
way back. Coming out of the Smokies and into Hot Springs is when I was hiking with Highlander, and he was super awesome. Don't know how much I got him on video, but anyway, Highlander and I were texting. So yep, keeping in touch with people and planning on keeping in touch. So texted with Stan the Man and Iceman, with Tim a little bit. We've wished each other happy Thanksgivings and stuff like that. So yep, this whole Appalachian Trail family is amazing, and we're going to stay family forever.
And that's all the questions I have. Unless somebody has one. You did get a good evening from Roger, and Grumpy wanted to know how you were doing. And then somebody asked Roger. Something that I don't understand, and they haven't explained it, so we can't. It doesn't make any sense to me.
What's it say?
It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
So I don't know.
Grumpy's asking how I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing really well, especially like being down here, and we're still seeking out what I'm going to do next, what we're going to do next, and we really don't know what in the world we're going to be doing. And that, you know what, it's fun and freeing it for a little bit, but it's also like super stressful because I don't know what in the world we're going to be doing. And so to be honest, we're struggling through some of that. It's hard. We're still having to walk by faith every day because we don't know where we're going to be next. And life is kind of hard right now, and financially it's kind of tough being homeless and unemployed. So anyway, but I'm doing well.
God's provided for
Yes.
us just constantly. So I mean, we still see His hand in everything, and we know that we are still where we're supposed to be right now.
Yep.
And He just hasn't revealed that next step, and
Yep.
we're okay
and
with
we're,
that.
I guess He's teaching us some patience.
Lots of patience.
And I need that. I need to be learning some patience.
We all
So, yeah, but you know what? We'll see. I'm not ready to say yet what we might be thinking, but I don't know. God's moving, and hopefully we'll listen.
Warren, it is not the Highlander that Thru hiked or attempted a through hike last year.
No, not
It's
Highlander 58 or 78.
Not that Highlander.
Nope.
It's a different Highlander.
This is a young man from Pennsylvania, and he is a follower of Jesus, and so we had lots of good stuff to talk about. He came from an extreme conservative background, and I feel like Jesus kind of came and set us free from a lot of that, so we had some good dialogue for a long time. He's an awesome guy. Love him.
Let's see. Soaring Eagle says, glad to hear what's going on with you. And Carrie Young says, good to see you guys.
Hey, Carrie.
Miss your videos and the trail. He and his son went to the Knock in August, and that area
NOC.
is gorgeous.
Yeah. Climbing out of the NOC, did you go northbound from there, like up towards Toccoa Gap? And then out of Toccoa Gap, there's Jacob's Ladder and that jump up and all that. Man, that was some legit. That was one of my hardest days, was coming out of the NOC. Man, it poured rain. It was like 8-mile climb getting up and over that mountain. That was really rough. And I remember coming down 15 miles, coming down into Toccoa Gap. I was very low. And there was a dude there did some trail magic. There was some fruit. He gave me like a cheese sandwich. I had a good place to camp, and it was pretty awesome. So I have fond memory. That area is awesome. In fact, we've kicked around the idea of trying to like move to that area, do some trail stuff and some ministry, whatever. Love that area. So
He said yes. They walked up the trail a ways, and the trail is steep.
yeah, it's 8. If I remember right, it's like 7 or 8 mile climb coming out of the NOC. So that was fun. Yep, and it was pouring rain, and it was way too hot to wear the rain gear. So anyway, I met one gallon who is like quadruple, triple crowner, super stud. He's walked like 1,000,000 miles, builds his own canoes, and paddles lots of thousands of miles. Super cool guy from Iowa. I met one gallon that day and Scallywag, and saw Scallywag. You know, we got to hike together a lot later. So saw him, but never saw one gallon again. But he's awesome. So I met them coming out of the NOC that day. Hiked together and got him on video. So
There were a couple people that you hiked with that never heard, like Sir Jefferson. Never heard if he made it all the way or not. And like Dirty J, we talked about Dirty J and Rainbow.
And Kira.
Carrie says, when my wife retires, we're going to do trail magic in that area. She's a teacher also.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 2nd grade. Cool. My sister taught 2nd grade also.
Yeah.
I skipped that grade. I taught kindergarten, 1st, and 3rd, so I never did 2nd grade though. A couple of the videos that are going to be coming out that we're going to be doing, he's going to do his favorite trail towns, which is a little bit different than some of the other favorite videos I've noticed on people's favorite trail towns.
I'm going to do one of the ones I'm really excited about are my 5 favorite pieces of gear. And I was thinking about it on the way down here, and they're all like super ultralight and super cheap. So I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to review pretty much all my gear. So my backpack, both my packs. I'm going to review all my different sleeping bags, but especially my Z-Packs sleeping bag that I had the majority of the trail. I'm going to review my cook system, my stove, which I love my stove. I'm going to review that. I might do like a trekking pole demonstration and review type video. 5 favorite like hostels along the way, which will be different than a lot of people because I stayed in fewer hostels than most.
Yeah.
Trowels.
We'll skip the 5 least favorites.
Yeah. 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 So
I know what I wanted to ask you. You said when you put your tent on the outside, like on those straps on the Ark Hall, did you not do that with your Exos?
no,
When you had it?
no. So she wondered about where I carried my tent. My Exos, I started with the trail with an Osprey Exos 58 liter, and it was huge, plenty of room. So I kept my tent inside the pack. Now I kept it on top of my pack liner.
That's right.
So I kept all my gear, like my sleeping bag. One of the biggest rules that you have to do in backpacking is you've got to keep your sleeping bag dry, and you have to keep a change of clothing dry, so that when you get soaking wet and your teeth are chattering, you can pitch your shelter, get inside, get stripped down, get dried off the best you can, put on dry clothes, and get in your sleeping bag, and you can survive that way. You cannot get your sleeping bag wet and your clothes wet. So I kept those in dry bags, and I kept all that inside a pack liner. Then I folded down the pack liner and kept my tent on top of that because the Exos had plenty of room. When I got my Z-Packs Arc Blast backpack, it didn't have extra room. Light food loads, I could keep it inside, but I learned pretty quickly it was way better to keep it on the outside at the bottom. And then it helped stand my backpack up straight when I took it off. Everybody's is falling over and I have to lean them against trees. I could just stick mine wherever because it kept it propped up. So awesome. I loved that. So kept it in different places. It was pretty cool, man. You're a stud when you can set your pack down
so I don't care.
and it stays up. Everybody's like, wow, what do you do? Like, I'm just that good.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's all about where you pack your stuff.
Stop it.
So, anyway, that's where I carried my pack. And I'm going to, the other video I'm going to do is like how I packed my stuff and why you carry it the way you do, because it all makes a difference. So like kind of something like that. I may do a full like camp setup, and unload my pack or repack it then and show how I carry stuff, because that's important. And it takes a long time to learn where to put your stuff and how you like it. And it's definitely adds to the efficiency and effectiveness of the hike, because in the mornings you do not want to be spending an hour getting everything all ready to go. It's nice to just pack up and go. It's one of the neatest things about backpacking is the minimalistic lifestyle. When I came back home, man, we've got stuff everywhere. And not that we have like lots of stuff. I guess we do, like most people.
Well, we have 4
but
kids.
It's just the amount of stuff that we have in our homes, and we don't need it. Like, yeah, we don't need, anyway, it's cool when you learn what you can get away without having. So that's what backpacking's all about.
Your Aunt Patsy says she would love to hear your stories in person, but she doesn't have any plans to come to Illinois anytime soon.
Oh, so, shoot. Well,
have to have us down.
Yeah, we'll come down to where y'all, I'm not going to say it on camera, but I know where you live, and so we should come down there one of these times and do that. So I'm going to be speaking in Washington in a couple of weeks, but that won't do you any good.
That's in Illinois.
We might record it, but or have it recorded. But anyway, I'd love to see you guys and tell you some of the stories, because there's a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. I've been watching the videos over again and watching it with him, so I get to ask, stop it and ask, okay, why did you do this, and what was going on here, and who was that person? So that's been a lot of fun, and then it just brings up a lot of things that he didn't say on camera, and so that's been really neat, getting to rewatch all the videos with him, because there's a million questions that I had, and I even talked to him on the phone and stuff. So. All right, that's it. Nobody has any other questions, so that'll probably be our last Q&A, unless somebody has other things that pop up.
Well, great. Thanks, guys, for coming along and for joining us so quickly. It's super cool, and I love that you guys are keeping up, with all this, keeping up with us and joining this live Q&A so quickly. Again, look forward to a bunch of different gear videos, and I'm super excited about, like you, Grumpy, getting your gear ready.
Yeah.
Man, I can't, it brings back a lot of memories. So, all kinds of thoughts going through my mind, but we got to keep this a little shorter. So thanks, guys, for coming along. And if you haven't subscribed, do it. subscribe. We get close to 1,000. Like we're bumping up there, and then we gain 4 and we lose 2 and we gain 6, and anyway.
Up and down, up and down,
Yep.
up and down.
All right.
Anyway,
you guys are awesome. Thanks a bunch.
Take care.
And Merry Christmas.
And